Look, I love talking to Senator Tommy Tuberville for a variety of reasons, mostly because, well, he speaks frankly in a world that doesn't. But before we get into, as some refer to as the clown show that is Washington, D.C., I got to ask you, Coach, Alabama, Saban gone. Thoughts on Saban and thoughts on his replacement, Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, I don't know, Caleb. I obviously had a great year at Washington. Uh, Not too many people would want to follow what the greatest college football coach of all time has accomplished, Nick Saban. He's been a friend of mine for 25 years. Uh, I kind of saw it coming. He never mentioned it, but he and I have been working on an NIL bill along with a lot of other coaches, ADs, for the last couple of years, and he just got tired of it. It wasn't just NIL. I think he got to a point where, he wanted to do maybe something else. He had accomplished so much, and I hate to see him go from college sports. I think he will stay active in some way. I don't know what it is, but man, the success he had, it will never be duplicated in our lifetime anyway.
You're the Auburn coach. He's the Alabama coach, and you remain friends.
Oh, yeah. And I think I'm the only coach that has got a winning record over Nick Saban, and don't think I don't tell him that quite often. I left, and I forget what the record is, but I've got more wins than I do losses to Nick. But we had some great games, and I can remember 2004 when I had the undefeated season. My closest game was we scored at the end of the game to make it 9-9, kicking an extra point to win the game with like a minute to go, and we missed the extra point, but they had jumped over the line of scrimmage and fell on the center. And ironically, Nick, the previous year, complained about that. We changed the rule where you have to jump straight up on defense and not over into the offensive lineman. So it was his rule that caused him to end up losing the game 10-9. But again, you can't say enough about what he's done and meant to football over the last 25 years, and what he's brought to college football in terms of notoriety, more television sets watching college football, and again, he will be missed. He will really be missed.
Coach, I'm going to get on to other things, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. Alabama, the job was open for Saban for a reason going way back, and Alabama, didn't have great success before he got there. How good of a job, when you look at what's going on in college football, is Alabama the best job in the country? Is it where is it in terms of jobs?
Well, I'll tell you a little story about that. When I ran for this job in the Senate, even my wife said, "Now you're going to run for this job. You've got to have Alabama votes." And you stuck up fingers in their face. You beat them 6 times in a row. How are you going to get votes from Alabama? So I made up this little story where I'd go to speak to probably 70% Alabama fans, 30% Auburn fans, and somebody would ask me, say, "Coach, I'm an Alabama fan. Why should I vote for you for this position?" I said, "Well, first of all, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have Nick Saban, because I got the rest of them fired. I went through 5 coaches while I was at Auburn, and they were struggling. They'd had some probation." And we got it rolling. I had a very good staff, and we had it rolling at Auburn and winning games. But when Nick came in, he changed the atmosphere in what Alabama had their possibilities of doing. And he was the best guy for the job. They had hired Rich Rodriguez about a week before, and I'm thinking, man, I know Rich, and I think we'll have some great games. And then all of a sudden, Rich turns the job down, and they go straight to the Miami Dolphins and hire Nick Saban. I said, uh-oh, because I know the capabilities and knew the capabilities of Nick and how he could really get people on his side, get them fired up. And I've told him over the years, all the games and years that you won, it was an impossibility of what he did of winning national championships consistently, because I know more than anybody that if you can't keep a coaching staff together, that's your recruiting guys. That's the people that actually do the hard work. And every year he's losing them to head coaching jobs, the coordinators, NFL. He's having to replace them. And I'd be dang if he doesn't turn around and continue to win in national championships. And that's probably the best feat of coaching in my lifetime that I've ever seen in terms of consistency. And again, it won't be replicated in any time in the near future.
You're the first